What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Cold Front video. And what are we doing today? That's right, we are fighting and watching the Battle of the Last Alliance. So it is 34 of the Second Age. Technically should be closer to Barad-dûr, but we are at the base of Mount Doom for some reason. But we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. And an army of men, elves, and dwarfs. Many do not account for that, especially moviegoers. People who only watch the movies will think only men and elves. Nope, dwarfs are there. Although there were not a large amount of dwarfs, or either they weren't a large amount of dwarfs there, or there weren't enough there to be like accounted. Like there wasn't as much detail given about them, so I mean we can just assume there weren't as many. That's why. So, yeah, 34, the Second Age, and we are taking on Sauron head on with the last ditch attempt to destroy all evil in Middle-earth once and for all. But as you know, the story goes, that doesn't really work out. When did they lose? Because the race of men will fail. But regardless, we are going to attempt a second try at it, and we're gonna watch this gloriousness. So, a little different from what you see in the movies, of course. So it'll be a 4v4 battle. It'll be me, Coldfront, as Arnorians, of course, because I absolutely adore them. And then we have some high elves over here from Eriador, the old Naldorian elves. Then we have some of our Morriquendi over here, or in other words, the Sendarian elves, led by Thranduil here in his royal guard. Where is he at? There he is. There's beautiful Thranduil. And then we have the dwarfs. Not a whole lot of dwarfs. So I told you I was talking about that earlier, so I wanted to be represented here also. But we have some dragon slayers at Arid Mithrin and some iron foot guards. There's some iron dudes here per usual. Then for the evil side, we have two armies of Mordor. One led by the Witch King, and the other led by, yeah, here's the Witch King, Nazgul. Well, Nazgul, but let's go ahead and pretend they're the Witch King. And the other led by Sauron's Will? I thought I would put it in Inquisitors there, but no, well. Led by a unit of Sauron's Will, that would be the general unit for there. Then we have an army of excuse me, Easterlings from Rune, with their general unit being, well, oh my god, the actual Witch King with horns. How cute is that? He has horns. Why does he have horns? And why is the Witch King leading the Runic people? But whatever have you. The Runic people. And then finally, we have the Haradrim from the south, led by a unit of Abrazin I'm gonna get this. Abrazanim Nazugad. Nazuzavruwargad. Regardless, who cares? It's runic Haradrim names. Nobody can pronounce those. So there are way too many units in this battle to go over every little unit or any army comps for it. So that's the best I'm going to do for it. If you guys want to see these videos in more detail and more quality, such as me going over every single little unit, and more and stuff like that, just tell me, comment down below, and I'll be sure to do it. But as of right now, that's just really hard for me to do. It takes a lot more time out of my day, and I can be making other videos than sitting here for 30 minutes explaining every little unit that's on the battlefield. Also, another thing, this is the Third Age Total War mod, but what you're watching is the Third Age Total War Reforged submod, which is an overhaul of the game, which brings in new units, rebalances the units, and adds in, I think, more custom maps and more custom map abilities and things like that. But regardless, I just want to make that clear because I wasn't very clear in my other videos. A link to both of the mods, Reforged and Third Age, will both be in the description, and go check them out. Now, without further ado, let me just go ahead and shut up. Let me get into it, and let's start the battle. Begin. So one thing you'll notice immediately that happens is, ooh, some beautiful yellow lightning there, it appears. One thing all the armies do, oh, I have it to ×6, that's why it was so laggy for a second. Let me start it back up. All the armies do, and excuse the lag, I mean, this is a lot of troops, is they all start to head for the High Elves. Yeah, all the armies are sectioned off, and actually nobody really goes for me. They send a few detached units over to my Great Arnorian army, but not many. I will have to reform my line and come in on the Runic left, or Runic and Horadrim left flank, because the Horadrim army will completely shift to take on these High Elves. So on this side we have Thranduil's army conforming, and already quite a few arrows have been shot at the, as you can see, all these dead bodies. Quite a few shots have been, okay, yeah. So you can see how also this army is also conforming and take out the Elf's army. Really, the enemy's main plan is to take on these Elf armies. It's quite funny. But as you can see from these arrows in midair, they have gone quite a few shots across, and the Orcs are rushing to get to the Elven front lines to get away from all those archers. But the weird thing is, the Sylvan Elves have moved the archers up to the front, and they don't see any signs of putting them behind their lines, so it's going to use them for a little bit and then rush them right into the fight. Here, Helang Elves are rushing to the front. Bunch of swordsmen, pretty much. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and confront the majority of these two armies by conforming most of the lines to the right while moving their general unit to the left. They do have some cav, which will be using to help the Noldorian Elves, which are now rushing into position and are taking on now the Horadrim nomadic warriors and the Rune Loki Gamperin, which are just a spear unit. And here are the Blade Masters, which is the High Elven general unit, which is the Blade Masters, I mean, because it's a very strong High Elven unit. So I made those the general unit. I usually make the strongest unit a faction can hold, or has, the general unit. And you can see the ridiculous amount of archer fire coming down from all of these Sindarian cav. These are pretty much mobile archers, really, really like fast moving archers, and they are going to go straight for the Loki Naharim archers on this side, which are the runic archers. You can see the majority of the High Elves have conformed the lines to get closer to Thranduil, because they realize Thranduil is massively outnumbered. As you can see over here, you can see just a small bit of red being absolutely engulfed by all the black. Their lines are not holding. They're going to go ahead and launch in their Olukai, and this unit will not last long, nor will the army. Nobody goes for the dwarfs, sadly. They did not find the dwarfs to be enough of a threat to go for, so they have completely disregarded them, except they have pushed up and they're moving up their war goats, and the other unit, Ologai, are, I guess, trying to stop them from breaking these lines. But they will get a nice charge into the back of these Uruks, trying to relieve this army of swordsmen here, which is being absolutely murdered. There is a big gap, and they are cut off from the rest of the unit, and there's just no way that they can get those back. That army will die. But they are well covered on all their other flanks and are holding out for as long as they can. But you can see the ridiculous amount of archer fire coming in on these elves. I mean, they're not going to last for long. Just the overwhelming numbers. What can you do against such reckless hate? So Noldorian elves are holding quite well. Their line is firm, strong, and secure. Our Blade Masters. Oh, these are the Phalas Lords. Once again, excuse all the lag. There's just a ridiculous amount of troops on the field right now. But you can see Thranduil realizes his position, but is definitely moving to secure the rest of the battlefield. On my front, nothing exciting is happening. What is it? Alright. So, nothing much but a few Haradrim savages are attacking my lines, but as you can see, my lines, of course, I'm conforming to more of a defense strategy. I'm okay. I'm not too worried about my lines right now. Like I said, they just sent a few detachments over to my side. Nothing spectacular. Really, all I'm trying to do is focus my archers on taking out the majority of this Haradrim force, which is going for the elves. And I need to hurry up, finish those guys, and go to help the Nordorian elves. Now, these Sylvan elves have charged their cabin. Enough with the arrows, they said. They need to clog up these lines before the Haradrim army can completely surround and flank the Noldorian army. As you can see, those pikemen of the runic people did not hold long. Only half of the enemy force remains. Not saying much considering they have such a ridiculously huge force. But as you can see, this ridiculously huge line of Corsairs, Southron Warband, this Haradrim army is ridiculous. Now, I need to hurry up and get back over to the other side because I know these elves do not hold long. So their general unit is rushing to the left. Oh, well, yeah, they're left. Because they can see they're just completely getting surrounded here. And their Sylvan elves are not holding long. They're really trying to form a line with these high elves. And they're pretty much doing it with these Bing, I don't know, Chandler Bing elves here. But as you can see, their lines are just crumbling. And the dwarfs, as it seems, are taking on a large detachment of this other army. They wanted the attention of the orcs, and they got it. And they're getting the full wrath of it. Their general unit is very tired, but they haven't lost too many men, and they're holding pretty strong. But the majority of their army has completely been decimated, especially by these Ologai. I mean, without any pikemen, you really just get destroyed by them, and that's pretty much the end of the Dwarven army there. Yeah, the half of this Orc or Mordorian army completely decimated them while moving on to the elves. As you can see, these elves are just completely crumbling. They're behind their lines, and now they're moving in for the rest of them. Glorious. In the battle, the great Noldorian general has fallen on the battlefield, and as you can see, a majority of the High Elf army was cut off. Their right flank was cut off from the rest of their line, and the lines are starting to crumble and deform. Yeah, sometimes I get lost in words. I'm trying to focus on commentating. But as you can see, this general unit was completely surrounded, and their lines are just completely all in disarray. It's pretty much one big cluster F of, and it's really just a surround battle, to be honest with you. There's not too much you can do. So it looks like some Southron archers have moved around the flank and have taken the high ground and are starting to fire onto the back of my lines and onto some of... No! There it goes. Well, it wouldn't be Thranduil. Oh, excuse me. Who is the... Oh, it was Thranduil's grandfather, I believe, who died at the Battle of the Last Alliance, for he pushed too far his lines, and he was cut off from the rest of his supporting armies from the men and dwarves and high elves, and was completely surrounded and killed. And that is lore friendly, but I can't remember the elf's name. Give me a few seconds. I'll try and remember for you. Sorry, there's just so much lore behind Tolkien's works that it's hard to remember everything. And that's one of the beauties about it, is that everybody remembers something else. And so there's always something new to bring to the table. There's always different debates and different things to be talked about. Because, I mean, everybody can have a generalization of what they know about most things, but nobody can know everything. And that's one of the great things about it. So I guess I have not realized this. I mean, I don't even know how they got back there. I wasn't paying attention in that part, I guess. So, bug on me, I guess. I have no clue. And it looks like these Corsair savages have been completely decimated by my Bodyguard. That's a weird name for a horse unit. It's just called bodyguards. Nothing special, just bodyguards. But I'm now rushing my units, running them over to the High Elves because they are getting absolutely decimated. I mean, look how far they have this Southron warband in their back lines. I mean, this is bad.
They have lost half their men.
Yes, I've heard that before. I guess it's going to say it for every army. They've even gotten to their archers. And so I'm rushing to conform my lines and start to push back on the enemy. But the Falas elves, the sword masters and all are cut off and completely surrounded by the Haradrim and Runic armies. And now even the Mordor army has moved over and now taken on these Falas lords. Not good at all. Not good at all. And Thranduil's grandfather has been taken down. The dwarves are completely decimated. My general has fallen. I do not know from where, though. I don't... Where was my general? I haven't been paying close enough attention to my side to realize where the hell my general even was. Oh, he's over here. He's taking on like a ridiculous... He's all the way in these back lines. But, I mean, they're not having too much trouble. As you can see, they're just cutting through these guys like it's nothing. I like how they're just like, they're pretty much just walking. They're not even caring about like all these guys here. They just keep walking. I don't care. But yes, my general has fallen. I think I played this a while ago, so I stack all these games up. I play these games and I stack them up and wait for them to make videos on them. So I think what happened, if I can remember correctly, is that I had a bunch of units toggled and I was trying to tell my cab to go, but I also accidentally control clicked my general, and so he also charged past his lines and was killed when I was trying to call him back. He was cut off. So, I mean, the percent of allies killed 65%, enemy killed 57. Enough said. We are just getting decimated. It is not looking good at all. Just overwhelming numbers against us, which is how it always is. And some Uruk-hai are charging my lines of my Arnorian men-at-arms, and look at all those guys just absolutely flying. Not good. And that stops the advance to the left side of my army. Some dismounted Dunedain Knights charging their way over, and my lines are starting to reconform around what's happening right now. And as you see, some of the High Elves are running behind my lines, seeking refuge, especially some of these archers. I guess, never mind. Yep, there they go. I'm about to say, where are they going? And now the Haradrim and the Runic army are now starting to redirect some of their what would you call them, reserves to my side to stop me from getting to save the elves. And the elves truly are surrounded. And our other ally is now dead. I think that's all of our generals now. That'll be, yep, that's all of our generals. So the Dwarven general has finally fallen. And now that is the complete end of the Dwarven army. So surprisingly, the dwarves last longer than some of the elves. Most of the elves. But then again, they weren't taking on the majority of the army. These Uruk-hai are really decimating my formations. Really using them to terrible effect. I'm trying to rush my troops into formation. But, I mean, there's too many men, I can't control it all. So I have some Arnorian men-at-arms routing here. This does not appear good. Percentage of the allies killed 74%. Enemies killed 60%. And now some of my dismounted knights are going to charge into this army to allow my units to get back, so I can use one of my general's key abilities, which will allow me to unbreak my units from routing. It works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. It's like a horn ability. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. Forgive me. But yeah, a lot of times it'll stop my units from routing, and it'll also give my units a boost while they're in battle. Very handy to use in last ditch situations. And still, these Phalos lords fight. They are still fighting on this hillside. That is crazy. Looks like that is some of the last of the actual fighting force for the Elven army, or the Noldorian army, and now all the hordes of hell are now descending upon my position in the last of the Noldorian elves. And I see my what would I call this? The battle ready Dunedain, which is also my general unit, is now charging the battle and are now about to be surrounded by the rest of this, by the general unit for the enemy units. This is the general unit for them. So now I am facing the Haradrim warband and their general. Battle ready Dunedain defeat is a distinct possibility. That does not fare well for them. And within seconds, they are cut down. That's quite a bit of them just completely. Yeah, look at them. Oh, that was brutal right down. Oh, that's brutal. Took him down to the ground and hacked him up several times. Thus is the end of the battle ready Dunedain. And decapitation, but I don't think there's decapitations in Medieval 2. And he says, F that shit, I am out. I agree. And really there were just too many units. This is just an absolute slaughter fest. Just the enemy units starting to just wipe up the rest of the units. Just an absolute decimation of troops. What can we do against such reckless hate? Them using the Olokai, the Olokai are actually really fast. Really fast units. So they use those to terrible effect in order to rush them ahead of the rest of their army and hit my units to stop me from forming my lines. If I formed a nice defensive line, I would have been able to hold out a whole lot better than I would have completely, you know, scattered like this. And it's a big reason why they were so easily able to scatter my troops, and it was a big advantage toward them. I mean, I can't describe how many troops they probably saved by using their Olokai in such a way. The last of the elves being mopped up with some more Olokai. Not many units survive, or are surviving. Looks like this whole side of the map is cleared, and it looks like this is, I think, right here is the last 2 units. And I think that's it. There goes my battle ready Dunedain, not battle ready, excuse me, my dismounted Dunedain knights. They are broken, exhausted, and retreating. And that appears to be it for the Battle of the Last Alliance. Did not end quite well, or quite as we thought it would. And it's really just a run fest now. We are hightailing it out of here. And the Orcs, Haradrim, and Haradrim units are completely doing some cross-country shit to chase us down. This is not good. Not good at all.
Our allies have fled the field like cowards.
And thus is the end of the Battle of the Last Alliance and the complete and utter loss of the alliance of men, elves, and dwarfs. Alright, and thus is the end of the Battle of the Last Alliance. Alright, that was a terrible, terrible defeat, but you can see the massive difference of numbers. So, Captain Yathor was the captain for my army. He deployed 1,700. The High Elves deployed 1,200. The Sindon Elves deployed 800, and the captain of Gruin of the Dwarfs deployed 418. Meanwhile, the one Mordor army had 4,000, the other Mordor army had 5,000. The Haradrim army had 3,000, and Runic, and then the Haradrim army had about 4,000. So you can see the little bit of the difference in numbers, but you can also see the difference in kills. Look here. So, I mean, each one of our armies did twice the numbers of what they did. I mean, look at the High Elves here. Almost 5,000 kills. They killed an entire army by themselves, pretty much. And the Sylvan Elves, excuse me, I could not think of the name, did almost 2 times better than, pretty much 2 times better than I did. I only got 1,300. So, not good at all. Not good at all. But thus is the end. So let's go ahead. The battle-ready Dunedain inflicted about 305 casualties, bit about the same as some of the dismounted Dunedain knights. But I'm interested to see, is there any, will it show me? I guess it won't show me the other units. That's funny. It says this is battle statistics. Udun, 1100 third age. That's funny. Orifer, that's it. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the Thranduil's grandfather who died at the Battle of the Last Alliance. Is Orifer. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's funny. It just came to the top of my head. Pretty happy about that. But yes, this was the reenactment, or not the reenactment, just a little play, the Battle of the Last Alliance. And this is nothing maybe to what you think about when you see in the beginning of the movies. You know, because considering the Battle of the Last Alliance lasted for 4 years, started at 3430, the Second Age, lasted, of course, at 3434, the Second Age, with the cutting of the ring off Sauron's hand. So, let's just say this is one of the engagements in the Battle of the Alliance of Men, Elves, and Dwarves were pushed back. And, what's his face? Orifer. Oh my god, I almost forgot again, was killed. But, once again, thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate all the support on my channel I've been getting recently. I feel like every day I'm just growing a little slower, and it's just amazing. I never expected to get more than 15 followers, to be 100% honest. I don't know who watches this stuff. I don't know. But yeah. So if you guys like this Third Age Reforged and Third Age content, please tell me. I would really appreciate some feedback. If you guys don't like some of the things that I do during the battle, rather me do some different things, or take more from this YouTuber, look at this YouTuber and do this, that would be greatly appreciated. I mean, I don't know what else I can do. I watch like every Third Age Reforged, Third Age, Rise of Mordor mod. I don't know. Every single Lord of the Rings video on YouTube I've pretty much already seen, so yeah. Just tell me what to point my, my interest and my time to, and I'll definitely do it. And I really appreciate all the feedback I've been getting. I really enjoy playing this game, and I really enjoy bringing it to you guys. And I really wanted to bring online battles to you guys, because that's like the thick of it. That's the good stuff. But for some reason, I can't do it. I'm always incompatible. And don't be like, oh, do this or that, this or that. I've literally had some of the modding team people try and walk me through how to configure my game to play online, what I might be doing wrong, what I might want to change, and it is not working. He literally just like he gave me a few things and told me this and that, and he's like, this should fix it, and it didn't fix it, and he just didn't respond to me. Or maybe he wasn't one of the modding team, but he's one of the like head people of the third age Discord chat, and he had no clue, so he just stopped talking to me. He was like, okay, fuck this shit. I don't feel like wasting my time on this. So I have no clue. And one person I read is that he was talking about how when Dak renamed some of his files and that really messed him up. I downloaded and installed Dak before I did Reforge. So maybe what I think is happening is that Third Age has been tampered with due to Dak. Or for those who don't know what Dak is Divide and Conquer, which is another submod for Third Age, which allows you to play the campaign. And Reforge is just like, well, a Reforge of the game, quite literally what it says. So maybe when I installed Dak and it renamed a bunch of the files for Third Age, and then I reinstalled Reforge after that, although it works, it doesn't have the exact same file names and thus and whatever as some other people do, which makes my game incompatible with their games. Because if you're even the slightest bit off, sync with somebody else, it won't work. So I think that's what might be wrong. And in order to do that, I'd have to completely reinstall Third Age and mess with it, and even if it doesn't, even if it's just like something wrong and I can't do it, I would have wasted hours on doing that, and I just do not have the time on my day. I have like 4 series going on right now, and there's just no way I could do it. And I mean, it would be, I don't feel like doing it. I really just don't feel like doing it. I already dedicated like most of a day. I did all of it in one day. I did medieval to the kingdoms thing, Third Age, Dak, and Reforged all in one day, and I made sure to take my time and tested them fully before I downloaded another thing and installed another thing, and then I set it up to where I would not reinstall it, but like I set it up to where I can just take a folder out like Dak, so I can take the Third Age folder out of the mods folder, and then put back in, and then that'd be the Dak folder. Then I can take, then I reinstall Third Age and I reinstall the other submod, which would be say Reforge. And then all I have to do now is take out one Third Age folder and put in another, and I can instantly switch from Reforge to Dak whenever I want without having to reinstall everything. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. So even though I said that theory before, where it renamed some of the files. I really just don't know. It'd be medieval files, not just the mod folder files or the Third Age files. It may be the medieval files. So I don't know. Like I said, guys, it's just all effed up. I'll try and work on it when I have some downtime. But with me picking up more hours at work and so forth, it's really hard for me. So once again, I'll do my best. For now, I'm gonna keep bringing on some great, crazy AI battles, and I just hope you guys enjoy. Once again, give me some feedback, support the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for watching. I'm just going to stop here because it's enough of me rambling on about my problems. Alright, you all have a good day.